Hey everyone, welcome to the news section. In this video, I want to show you guys how we can create the real-world application using MySQL. Our real-world application will be the employee application. Actually, we've seen this employee application before, but it was the simplest version of the employee table. But in this video series, in this section, we will see exact real-world application, okay? And we will have the one table, just one table, and we will have the 20 or the 24 rows and also almost 10 columns. And the columns will be the ID, employee name, age, department, salary, job title, boss, and etc. etc. Okay guys, I want to come to my new SQL file. Actually, here I have one, and I want to create our table. First of all, for creating table, we've seen this before, how we can create the table. We have two options. One of them, we can come here and we can create our table, and I mean from here there is stuff, but one version is we can come here and we can say the create table or etc. Okay, but first of all, I want to create the new schema. Okay, and that schema will be the real world schema. Okay, and by the way guys, after the joins lesson, after the learning primary key and etc etc, this is the, I can say that the middle of our course, and the end of our course we will write the one more real world application. Okay, and that application will be the complicated version of this application. Okay, and in that application we will have 4 or 5 tables. Okay guys, let's create the new schema here. I will say create new schema, and we should give a name to the schema. I will say the real, okay, underscore app. Okay, I will say the apply, and the finish. You can see the real app schema is created here. I will right click on this and I will say the set as the default schema. Let's close this. So you can see here I have tables, views, stored producers or the functions, etc etc. I will come to this tables. I can create the table using the create tables, ready stuff, but I will not use this. I will use the SQL. Okay, using the SQL is the best way that we can do. I will write the create, okay, and the table keyword, and now we should write the table name we want to create. I will write the employee. Okay, the employee is my table name. I will write open and close parentheses and my semicolon. Okay guys, now we should define the columns here. I will say the employee underscore name. Okay, but you can see here the employee, actually I didn't write correctly. I should write here employee. You can see here this employee underscore name as a column name is so long. I want to make it the emp underscore name. Okay, we can get this that it is employee name. Okay, and I wrote here the employee name, and this will be varchar open and close parentheses, and I want to make this employee name just 10. Okay, but before we doing this, let's create here the employee underscore ID, and this will be integer and not null. Okay, and our comma here. Okay, this employee name will be varchar and can be null. Okay, I will say no, let's make this not null. I will write the comma and I will write here the employee underscore the surname. Okay, and the employee surname, actually I will write this varchar open and close parentheses, and I will say 10. And I will write here this surname can be null. And after the employee surname, I want to write here the age. Okay, age will be integer and can be null. Another comma. And after the age, let's write our department name. I will say department. Okay, and I will write this will be varchar open and close parentheses. Department names maybe can be long than 10. Let's write here 15. And department name cannot be null. Okay, and my comma here again. And we should write here the salary. The salary will be integer and can be null. Okay, can be null. and the another comma. Let's click enter, and the job title I will write job underscore the title, and this will be the varchar open and close parentheses, and will be this job title 15 and the comma again. Okay, and we have just one left, and that is boss. Okay, this boss is the like chief or the CEO or etc etc. I will say this boss will have a name, and I will write here the varchar open and close parentheses, and the boss name, I don't think boss name will be bigger than 10. Okay guys, now I should write my comma here, and now we should define our primary key. You have to remember it. We said that the table without primary key, actually for me it's not the real table. I should type out the primary key open and close parentheses, and the primary key will be employee underscore ID. Okay, so guys, let me explain this table from the scratch. I have here employee ID, and it is ID and it is not null. I have employee name, it is varchar and it is also not null. By the way, length of this employee name is 10. And also I have here the employee surname, and this is varchar also, this can be null, and it is length of this is 10. And I have here the age, and it is integer also null, can be null. So I have here the department, it is varchar, and the length of this is 15, and department cannot be null. Okay, and the salary, job title, boss, and the last of all I have the primary key. Okay, and this primary key is the employee ID here. Okay, I want to add here one more thing. We can add here the auto increment, and I will write here the underscore. Okay, but I don't want to add here auto increment, but guys, you can add here. This is optional, it's up to you completely. But let me show you what I don't want to add here, the auto increment, because when I write the real world applications, my ID won't be like this. First employee is 1, second 2, and the third employee's ID is 3, 4, 5. Okay, maybe the first employee's ID will be like this, the second employee's ID will be like this, the third employee's ID will be like this. Okay, that is why we shouldn't write here the auto increment. I will remove this auto increment, but if you want to write your employees like this, first employee ID 1, the second employee is employee ID 2, and third is 3, and etc etc. Okay, if you want to write like this, you should write the auto increment here, but I will not use this. Okay guys, let's choose this SQL and let's click run. Okay, my table is created. Let's right click on this, let's say refresh all. And you can see the tables. I will click table, and my employee table is created here, and it is perfectly done. Let's close this. Actually, I will not close this. I will share this source code with you guys. Okay, you can get this from the description. Okay, let's come to our employee table, and let's try to fill this. But let's not fill this in this lecture. I want to finish this lesson here, and in the next lecture we will see the filling our employee table.